Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the start of the 1-Up Superstar Series and Turbo Truck Series doubleheader in Colorado. To begin today's races, it is the Turbo Truck Series, race number 5 of 20 on the schedule, and is at the beautiful Pikes Peak International Raceway out in Colorado. Like I said, this is a beautiful racetrack, just over a mile long. And it's been a while since we've been here. It's been since 2020 for the Superstar Series that we were here last. But now the trucks get their turn for 88 laps around this very interesting racetrack. And alongside me in the booth today, as always, is Duke Anzac for this race. This is a very interesting one. We've been here before, but not with these trucks. It's going to be interesting to see how they fare, especially when you consider we've got 88 laps for these guys to navigate.
Yeah, for sure. This is going to be quite an interesting race here. We got a little bit of a short track, some fascinating corners here. It's all unique, just like any track is, but it's a unique track, and these truckers are going to be able to handle it. But I think one of the biggest stories going into this thing is that it feels early, but it might be time to start talking about the point standings, and we're looking at, we got our points leader, Zachary Billison. He is starting 23rd today, so about mid-pack, and he's going to have to work his way up through the field if he wants to keep that lead. And then right behind him, Ryan Griffin, he's starting in 13th in this race, so still outside of the top 10, third place in points. Audrey Anzac starting 7th, so I think that this could be a big day for guys starting up front. You got Zach Rogers up there, Francois Chastain. So this will be it'll be a big race, maybe for some point swings, and of course it'll be exciting. It's a short track racing, and come on, it's going to be a great race.
And with that being said, you already mentioned our front row, so we can bring you the full starting lineup for the Dish Network 250 here at Pikes Peak. And we can tell you that Zach Rogers did indeed get the pole position for this race, the first of his career, with Francois Chastain lined up alongside him. And Robert Weaver and Billy Kidd make it a Robbers Racing 3-4, I should say. Robert Weaver 3rd, Billy Kidd 4th, and rounding out the top 5 is a newcomer, Kev Shearer, making his 1-Up Turbo Truck Series debut in place of the departed Christian Russell. Wishing Russell nothing but the best in his ventures, but Kev Shearer taking over in 0-2. I'm curious to see how he'll do. He's a real talent in other racing divisions, but this is his first Truck Series start, but granted, he's in one of the best rides out there.
Absolutely. I think that that's going to be a big story today as well. Watching that O2 truck, see what Kev can do. I think that he's got a real good shot here. Obviously, he's qualified top 5. That's absolutely fantastic for your first start. So, and even this whole season, looking through the whole field, there's so many rookies, rookie labels next to the names, and a lot of them starting up front as well. So that's absolutely fantastic to see. The series is thriving, and I'm excited for 88 laps today here at Pikes Peak.
And despite the influx of rookies this season, we've got 2 veterans leading them to green, Zach Rogers and Francois Chastain. The field is all lined up, and we're ready to bring you 88 laps from Pikes Peak International Raceway. And the green flag is mere moments away. Stay tuned, folks. You're not going to want to miss a second of the heart-pounding action still to come from Pikes Peak. With Zach Rogers on the inside, Francois Chastain on the outside, coming to the green flag. It's in the air. A position effort. 250 overway at Pikes Peak. Looks like they're even coming out on the front row, but there goes Audrey Anzac to the inside, making a 3-wide move on Kev Shearer, the rookie. Let's start lap number 1.
Yeah, it's good to make moves early here while everybody's stacked up after starting this race, and it looks like that 6th truck in 3rd place is going for 2nd place now on the 1, but it looks like that outside lane is going to get the run coming off the line. Regardless, Zach Rogers leads lap 1 in the 17 Red Bull Toyota, and that's a good looking race truck out there, out running up front, and gets the lead from the pole, starts to pull away.
And they're pretty much single file for the top 5. I think I saw Kev Shearer still side by side with Audrey in the 8, but to complete lap number 2, Zach Rogers still holds the lead. He's held it since the start, which is mere moments ago already. As we're completing lap number 2, entering lap 3, and the gap is about 0.4 of a second between Rogers and Chastain. I would not count out the 2 Robbers racing cars back there either. but they both look really fast. And already you see Robert Weaver making a move on Brands Watch Last 8. He's got second.
Yeah, Rogers is really starting to pull out to a lead here, but behind him, man, oh man, all these trucks back here are racing like it's the last lap. It's incredible. Side-by-side action all the way down the straightaways and through the corners. This is really good racing action here, and we got Audrey Anzac trying to enter a little bit higher into the corner, dive low on exit. I don't think it's going to work here. The 02 is going to make a move, though, with some help from the 8, going for 4th place.
How about Kev Shearer in his first series start making moves on Billy Kidd, who he himself is a rookie, but he's already made 4 starts in this series. Kev Shearer making his start, but he's making his presence known in that top 5, powering down into turn 1 just behind the 72 and just in front of the 8, and with Dylan Hall in hot pursuit in the 31, the highest qualifying crossroads racing track this time around. And as they barrel off into turn 3, you can see the top 3 starting to pull away a little bit. It's an interesting thing to keep an eye on, this gap that they're starting to build over to 72, and it might hinder these guys' hopes of getting to the front.
Yeah, for sure. This is, as we watch Audrey start to make a move there, we definitely, this is going to be the type of race that will likely be impacted by lap traffic. And here we've got Robert Weaver right on the bumper. He's going for a move down the back straightaway for the lead.
Robert Weaver trying to make his name the latest on the wins list in the Turbo Truck Series. Currently, only 3 drivers have won races in the series. Ryan Griffin with 2, James Ellison and Earl Sear 1 apiece, and none of these guys at the front have ever won a race, and I'm sure they're looking to change that in a hurry. But right now it's Toyota, Chevrolet, Ford, 1, 2, 3. Of course, Henry Brown, the lone Ram in this race. He started in the top 15. Looks like he's fading a little bit. But at the front of the field, some nice diversity among the manufacturers. But it's anybody's guess who's going to keep the lead for good at the end of lap 88. Because we're only on lap 8 now. But Weaver making a move deep down on the inside.
Yeah, good move there. He got a great run coming off of turn 4. He snuck low on the straightaway. He kind of cut it off a little bit. It is it's a bit of a D-shaped straightaway there on the front stretch, and now he's got the line on the inside. That's where you want to be. You're going to get a little bit of a run on the outside coming out of the corner, but the 6 is going to have the faster lane around the straightaway. They're still side by side. It looks like Zach Rogers led that lap. We got Robert Weaver on the inside, though. I think that he's going to get it done through 1 and 2. Yeah, the 17 got a little loose. Oh, man, but he's coming back on the outside. What a battle we have. And I think that Zach Rogers is going to keep this thing. He's clear now of Robert Weaver. An incredible battle, and this has brought everyone to him.
Yep, this has become a 6-car battle for the lead, or 6-truck battle for the lead, I should say, with Zach Rogers in firm command out in front now. He completes lap number 9 in the race lead. This is the most laps Zach Rogers has led in a Turbo Truck Series race. Remember, he dominated the Nitro National race at South Boston last year before being cruelly denied victory in the final 2 laps. But now the battle is for 5th, side by side between Kev Shearer and, oh man, Audrey Anzac drilling a hole into the back of Kev Shearer's bumper. That's allowed Dylan Hall back into the mix, and Jimmy Hogan in the 91. And how about Ryan Griffin? You mentioned him at the top of the show.
They're going 3 wide.
Oh, they are. Dylan Hall making a big move on the inside, trying to get 2 at once going into the corner, and it looks like he's going to get Kev all out of shape.
Man, that looked like it was a late move right there. It was a good move, but a late move. And I think that Audrey's spotter there must have given the call late. She was going to cut down in front of both of those trucks. And that was almost a big accident right there, but everybody made it through. Audrey ends up ahead of all of them, and they're still 2 wide. And now another late move into turn 1 from the 29 this time. Man, oh man, they're 3 wide again in this track. What racing we got early in this thing. Lap 12 of 88. Guys, calm down for a little while. You got plenty of time to make these moves. This is incredible.
Ryan Griffin wasting no time getting from the back to the front. He started 13th. He's already made his way up into 7th position. So he's already halfway there as far as making passes go. Next up on his list, Kev Shearer, the rookie in the 02. But if there's anybody that's going to be it's going to be hard to pass. But wow. I believe in Ryan Griffin. He's got the strength to make it happen. He's already got 2 wins this season. 1 at Macon, 1 at Las Vegas. He's already making gains on Kev Shearer, but it looks like the 02 is going to hold him off for the time being.
Yeah, that I saw that 29 come out of turn 2 with a huge run. Looks like a lot of raw speed in that truck, especially on corner exit. So that's going to be something to watch for. Corner exit speed is pretty huge at this track, as we see Audrey Anzac make a move farther back for 4th place, and we continue seeing Zach Rogers leading this thing over Robert Weaver, not by a lot. I thought that at this point the leader would have pulled out a lot more of a lead at this point in the race, but man, oh man, this is a tight battle that we've got here. Of course, single file for the moment, but wow, this is I'm pretty happy with this racing product. I mean, this has been excellent to watch.
And note, Billy Kidd has gotten around Francois Chastain for 4th, and that has dropped the number 1 into Audrey Anzac's clutches in their battle for 4th. But now, here comes Robert Weaver on the back bumper of Zach Rogers. This is the battle for the race lead. Going down in the turn 1, Rogers is going to try and shut the door on the 6, keep him in that dirty air. Even with a short track like this, the momentum you get by getting the nose of that truck out in that clean air is going to be critical, especially in the late stages when the tires are warm.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, these tires are good. Tire management's going to be huge, and I think that's why Zach Rogers has a little bit of an advantage here, being the leader, not having to make big moves, just kind of running your line, running your pace, controlling the rest of this field, and saving those tires a little bit more. So, of course, while he's saving tires, he's not saving as much fuel. Don't know if that's going to come into play. And here comes Robert Weaver on the bottom. A late move. Surprise the 17. He's going to go almost all the way around. We'll see what happens on the front straightaway. It looks like we've got a new leader.
Robert Weaver is clear on our first lead change of the afternoon. Robert Weaver to the lead on lap number 17. And now Zach Rogers no longer has that clean air advantage. He's got to find a way back around this 6th truck. And Robert Weaver now to the lead for the first time this afternoon. We've got 70 laps to go, and if the racing's gonna keep up like this, I imagine we're gonna be in for quite a show here at Pikes Peak.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's already been quite a show. I'd say these fans getting some racing worth the price of admission. This is what everybody showed up to see. Oh man, what a race we've got on our hands. And Robert Weaver just took the lead. Finally sniffing some of that clean air for the 6th truck. We'll see what he can do with it. Man, if this thing is as fast in clean air as it was behind that 17, we'll see if he's able to pull away a little bit. I think that it might be possible to get a little bit of a gap, but so far, no gap, and so good for the racing action on track.
Note that Francois Chastain has been overtaken by both Andre Anzac and Kevin Stewart, so dropped the outside pole sitter back to 6th place for the time being, and he's currently under fire for that spot by Ryan Griffin at the 29. But out in front, it continues to be Robert Weaver, who's led the last 4 laps of this race. And coming off of turn 4, Robert Weaver continues to hold the lead over Zach Rogers. The gap is starting to grow a little bit. It's up to half a second now. Probably the biggest lead we've seen all afternoon here in this race, and I imagine it's just going to get bigger because that 6th truck looks like it's on rails right now.
I agree, you know, and I think that there's a chance that the 17 might have burned up his stuff a little bit trying to get to the 6, and not completely burned it away, but just when you start to drive aggressive and you have to use the outside lane, your tires heat up a little bit, you start sliding a little bit more, and that makes it so you just don't have as much speed for the following laps. So that could have been what happened there to the 17, and we've got a close battle between the 72 and the 8 for 3rd place here. So we're going to see, it looks like Audrey's just buying her time here, trying to wait and see what happens if there's ever an opportunity. And speaking of opportunities, here's the 29, making the most out of this day so far with a genuine shot going into turn 1 underneath Francois Chastain. Big move, slides up the track. Oh man, these big moves into turn 1 are getting crazy, especially from the 29. He is an absolute monster on the brakes today, and it didn't work out that time, but he has driven up through this field, and he is a contender.
Proven to be the dominant driver in the first quarter of this season. Ryan Griffin already with 2 wins on the season at 2 vastly different racetracks. He's second in points right now to Zachary Bilson by only 1 point, I might add. So This is going to be a very interesting battle on our hands for the rest of the season. but he's got to get through Francois Chastain first, and I'm not so sure, because at this point, the 1 has good position over the 29. It's just a matter of, can Ryan Griffin generate the run? It looks like he's going to be able to with a little bit of help from Riley Hooper in the 00 back there. This is going to be interesting.
No help from 00. He's going low, trying to make a pass on that 29 truck. I don't know if it's going to work out. It looks like so this is the fascinating thing that I've been noticing about this race so far. So you can make that big move into turn 1, but in order to avoid sliding up and hitting the truck that you're trying to pass on the outside, you've got to let off just a little bit. And when you let off that little bit, it allows the guy on the outside to really full throttle all the way out of the corner, use all that track, and kind of get away. So we'll see if anybody adjusts how they make that dive into turn 1, and see if they can maybe capitalize on some other guys not really knowing how to do it quite right to make the pass. We'll see what happens. I think that if anybody's gonna catch on to it, it's gonna be that 29 truck. Man, oh man, Ryan Griffin has been fantastic today going into turn 1. So we'll just see how it all plays out.
He's got the fastest lap at the moment too. The only driver in the 27-second bracket in this race so far. Yeah. So very good run from Ryan Griffin, currently hanging out in the 7th position. And now we got this battle for third between Billy Kidd, Audrey Anzac, and Kev Shearer in the 02. This is a very strong run for Kev in his series debut. I'm mightily impressed by that. But it looks like he's just biding his time right now, saving that stuff. Because we're going to have a pit stop in this race. Not sure when, but it's going to come. And I think Kev's just biding his time for that final run of the race. That could be the moment to strike, as he's going to let his teammate, Zach Rogers, do most of the fighting up in the front of the field. But so far, no one's got anything for Robert Weaver at the moment.
For sure, yeah. And I think the best move right now at this point in the race is to kind of bide your time, hang out, wait, and see what happens. I mean, it's going to be the type of race here where the second run is going to be the one that counts. That's almost always how it goes. And if you're not in position during that second run, if you've already taken yourself out of this thing, if you've burnt up your tires so early in the race that you lose a ton of spots, it's going to be pretty tough for you. So this is looking good for Robert Weaver, and I think that all these guys that have kind of calmed down a little bit, they're going to really pay happily, get the dividends from that later in this race.
The gap now between Billy Kidd and, I should say, Zach Rogers and Robert Weaver, about half a second as we look at the back of the field. Giovanni Pena running last. He is about half a lap behind the 6 of a Robert Weaver at the moment, and like you said, I fully expect lap traffic to be a factor if this race stays green. I don't. Yeah. Yellow flags could always play a factor in that, and you never know what might come at Pikes Peak, but for now we're staying green on lap 31. Robert Weaver holding about a half-second lead over Zach Rogers, ahead of Billy Kidd, Audrey Anzac, Kev Shearer rounding out the top 5, who started to pull away a little bit. They've got about a second on Ryan Griffin, who's moved up into 6th ahead of Francois Chastain. The whole top 10 separated by about 4.5.
Yeah, it's been hard to track to see how much faster this 6 actually is, because he'll go a couple laps being about a half-second ahead, and then he'll drop right back to him. So I don't know if he's playing games with them or they're about to get racing. So he's got a real good opportunity to pull away here. They're going too wide for second place, double file, and yeah, that 17 had to go all the way around the outside. The 72 must have gotten really tight. Billy Kidd, man, oh man, he ended up losing a lot of time right there. Let's see it. Yeah, 72 is about a second back now, and the 17 also. I think that the 8 and the 02 need to get by Billy Kidd in the 72. I think that his tires are just a little bit worn off right now. Holding those 2 trucks up, maybe making it so these leaders are pulling away a little faster than they should be.
That's allowed Ryan Griffin to close up in the 6. And how about Allison Rain in the 34? She's made gains in this field. As a matter of fact, she has qualified for this race all the way back in 16, and she's made her way halfway through the field up to 8th. So good run from the 34, and a much needed good run from the 34. They've had a bit of a slow start to the season, but Out in the lead right now, it is Robert Weaver by about half a second. Zach Rogers starting to close the gap just a little bit, but Weaver will easily lead lap 34.
For sure, and the bigger lead you have, the better coming into the pit stop cycle. And the 17, all of a sudden, is right on the bumper of Robert Weaver with a huge run coming through turn 2, and he's going to make the move going low on the backstretch. I don't think he's going to have enough momentum going in the next corner to make it stick. But man, he is right there on his bumper now, and this, if they get to racing, this is going to bring everybody who's behind him right up to him, and we'll have quite the battle for the lead here. This is exactly what Robert Weaver did to the 17 earlier in this race, and we'll see if he's able to repay the favor and get that lead back. It's going to be quite the battle we've got on our hands right here between these two trucks.
It looks like he's backed off a little bit, though, and he's back right into the clutches of Billy Kidd and Audrey Anzac, and Kev Shearer, for that matter. So the top 5 now all separated by about half a second now. It's going to be very interesting to see what these cats do with each other once we get to the closing stages. We're closing in on halfway. We're about 7 laps away from the halfway lap. So Robert Weaver, if he can hang on until, I believe, about lap 59 or so, if he can lead till then, he'll lock up the most laps led point, and he can really use that. He's doing pretty okay in the points, but he's had a few sluggish races lately. Needs to get back on track no better way than by leading the most laps here, but Zach Rogers making a move on the outside.
Yeah, and look at this. Rogers trying a new strategy here on the outside lane. You always get that good run off the outside lane, maybe moving up the track, just trying to find something. He didn't lose any time there. I don't know if he's gaining a lot down the back straightaway. Audrey Anzac to the bottom. I don't think that that's going to be a move, though. Yeah, just the way that it worked out there on the back stretch. They ended up looking like they were too wide, but they weren't. And now we've got the 17 coming up behind. And look, here's how I think the pit stops are going to work, because you've got an interesting thing where if you pit, you can split this race in 2, and then you have that one pit stop dead in the middle, and that's how it is. However, if you pit before everybody else, this track is short enough that you're going to go 1 or 2 laps down in the pits, and we've got to move for second place. This is 72 Billy Kidd on the outside lane. I think the 17 might have had a little bit of an issue, might have gotten tight or loose or something, but he's lost second place to Billy Kidd and might lose third as well.
Audrey Anzac down the inside of Zach Rogers. The 17 starting to fade a little bit in this race, closing in on half distance. Now the 17's fallen from second all the way back to now trying to hang on to third. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to do it. And now look at the battle behind him. Brian Griffin starting to get around Kev Shearer in the 02. This 29 is right in the thick of things now.
Yeah, 29 has been having an absolutely fantastic race, and now Billy Kidd is absolutely catching up to this Robert Weaver truck in the lead. And Robert Weaver's had it easy for a little while here. There was a couple times there was some challenge, but just been out front, hanging out and making it happen, putting laps together and staying in that clean air. But yeah, I was like I was saying a little bit earlier with the pit stops. If you're sitting there at lap 44, that splits this race in 2. And I don't know if you're going to want to pit halfway, because if you pit before everybody, you're going to go 1 or 2 laps down, as we watch Kev take maybe the position there. It's not going to work out. They're all going to be clear as they run right here. But if you pit there, you're going to go a couple laps down, and if the caution comes out while you are laps down after you pitted, that's race over. You're going to be in a really tough spot. So while you get that advantage of getting your tires earlier, making up some time, you're going to have to be really careful and kind of know when everybody else is going to pit. So I'm a fan of staying out here as long as you can, shortening that last run, and making sure you don't get caught with a bad caution going laps down. I think you should stay out as long as you can in this one, and wait to see what happens. So we'll see what everybody chooses. Of course, there's always interesting strategies in all the one-up series, but yeah, I think that's how today's will work out. And right now, Robert Weaver isn't going to have to worry about any of it. He's leading the way, and he's got the biggest lead of the race so far, I'd say, with about 0.6 of a second ahead of second place.
That's what I was just about to say. This is about the biggest lead we've seen all race long, and as we come to take the halfway lap this time, Robert Weaver starting to make some gains on the rest of the field. He's starting to clear guys and make moves to advance his lead a little bit. Right now, he's got the whole field separated by 18 seconds. That's probably going to get bigger as the race progresses. But he's got about a 6/10 lead over second place right now. And the good news for him is, right behind him now is his teammate in 72. That's the best thing he can hope for right now. Is just to have someone on the same side. As Zach Rogers is now favored all the way back to 6th. Burnt up his stuff in a big way. Because right now, he's falling through the field. He might be in danger of missing out.
Yeah, that's shocking to me that the 17 fell so far back. And this is Audrey Anzac around the outside, making a move on Billy Kidd. Got tired of trying to make it work on the inside, so hey, go to the outside, see what happens. That's Audrey. It's going to work out, man. Message sent to the field. Look at that. A huge run coming out of the corner. Up to second place is that BTS Chevrolet. And man, oh man, we'll see if anybody else tries to take advantage of that outside move. But wow, that was very well done from the driver of the 8 truck, and we'll see now what she can do with Robert Weaver. She'll chase him down and maybe make a move for the lead coming up.
Now it's Audrey Anzac's turn, trying to get the race lead from Robert Weaver. She's about 6/10 back still, like we said earlier. Robert Weaver's got quite a big lead. Oh, now it's down to half a second. Yeah. So Audrey's starting to close in a little bit as you see Ryan Griffin power his way past Billy Kidd with Kev Shearer in tow. They're both going to get by the 72 and now move up into 3rd and 4th. This is a very interesting battle as well, because if Weaver and Anzac have a little coming together, this could become a big battle as well. And here comes Zach Rogers following his teammate, Kev Shearer, trying to get around Billy Kidd, who's starting to fade a little bit just like Rogers did a little earlier.
Yeah, and look at that. If you just saw the timing sheet update, the 8 truck is now only 0.2 seconds behind the 6th, so that's for the lead. Here it is for the lead right here. And we got these 2 Chevrolets lined up bumper to bumper, about a truck length between them. But yeah, this is going to be quite the battle if that 8 truck gets up there. Man, an incredible outside move. Could we see it again going into the corner? I don't know. With the outside move, maybe for the lead, we'll see. We're getting pretty late in this run for all these tires out there right now, wearing down. Trucks are tired, have been going for a while, and we got one slow on the track.
That's the 25 of Samantha Jade making her series debut, and that might be the caution flag coming out right there. In fact, it indeed is our first caution of the day on lap 50. This will certainly eliminate this need for pit strategy, because now everybody will be able to pit on the yellow, make it to the rest of the way, and be on their merry way.
Yeah, that is a huge savior for anybody who is dreading green flag pit stops, and all the crew chiefs are probably wiping beads of sweat off their foreheads right now as they see all the trucks coming in for a scheduled pit stop under caution, which of course is much safer than doing it under green flag and getting caught in the danger zone. So everybody's going to pit here. Busy pit lane. Let's see who is going to get it on the exit. Of course, you have to remember Robert Weaver went in there first in the number 6. Audrey Anzac in second place. And then, of course, at 29 in 3rd. So that's Ryan Griffin. And we'll see. We'll see how they exit the pits. If anybody can beat each other out of the pit lane, change this running order.
And you see Zach Rogers pulling the pit stall number 1. He earned that by winning the pole for today's race, but I don't think he's going to be the first one out. I believe that's still going to be Robert Weaver with a very solid pit stop. Pulls out ahead of Audrey Anzac, and the running order for the most part stays the same. I think Zach Rogers gained a few spots on the pit road, and he gets out ahead of teammate Kev Shearer as the running order for the most part stays the same. Billy Kidd loses a few spots there, but for the most part, running order remains the same as we now take the... You see, she was running near the back of the field. I think she's going to try and make a move on Earl Sear, and then she gets a bump from Logan Jones. That's what sends her around. And then makes mild contact with the wall. Nothing to really worry about there. But it's enough to send her right to the back of the train again. Started 41st, was making big gains through the field, but right back to the back of the line he goes, and that's going to be a tough thing to dig yourself out of, but not impossible. She was doing a pretty good job of it already, but not ideal no matter what position you're in.
Absolutely, you know, it just caught a little bit of the apron there. That's all that was, and you get that your rear wheels lifted off the ground a little bit by another truck. You got your front wheels at different planes, and that's how it goes, going all the way around. Minor contact there for both trucks. Spin. It's typical, and that it is what it is there. So, yeah, we're going to get back to racing here, and I think that this is going to be a fascinating restart. We've got Audrey Anzac in second place. Of course, they're going to remain single file. I don't believe anybody is going to be a lap down here.
No one's lost a lap yet.
Yeah, so nobody a lap down, nobody in the way. You're going to want to have the bottom lane here, fresh tires. First time in this race since the start that we've seen fresh tires, and of course there's a whole new look to the front of this field since then. So, yeah, this is gonna be a good one to watch. I'm watching to see who makes that dive low first, and how does that affect Robert Weaver and how he's able to drive away. Is it gonna be Audrey Anzac going to the bottom? Will it be the 29 Ryan Griffin going to the bottom and blocking Audrey from going to the bottom and racing for second place? We'll see what happens. Go to the green out of this corner.
Coming through to 3 and 4, coming towards the restart, which will take place on lap number 55. We'll have 33 to go at the line, but it'll be Robert Weaver who's been in command of this race since the early stages of it, and now we will have 33 laps to go. Green flag back down once again. And Robert Weaver takes off once again, and he gets a pretty good run because behind him, Zach Rogers has found new life in that number 17. He's making a move on Ryan Griffin for third.
Yeah, great move from that 17. Of course, remember at the beginning of this race, he led a lot of those laps before. Of course, the 6 passed him, and it hasn't changed since then. But that 17 looked really good out front of this race up to that point. And of course, here's Audrey Anzac. Didn't get the bottom blocked there. Didn't have to fight for any position. Now fighting for first place, which is where you want to be fighting for. And this is going to be an interesting battle. Big run off the corner. Big move down to the bottom with some push from Ryan Griffin. Of course, he's taking it 3 wide. Almost 3 wide for the lead. It ended up being 2 wide for second place. And the 29 is going to power past the 8 on the inside lane. Oh, but Audrey's got something to say about it. Staying on the outside, keeping the position across the line. Let's see what happens through turn 1. A little big run through the middle of the corner for the 29. Wow, what a run it was. All the way to the bumper of the 6. And that is incredible move for second place right there. And the 17 has moved into 4th place. So this is quite the race we've got here. Lap 57 of 88 at Pikes Peak.
From 13th to 2nd for Ryan Griffin, and he's looking for more. Coming down the inside of Robert Weaver, trying to make the move for the race lead. Got down in the turn 1 he goes. Ryan Griffin trying to get his 3rd win in only 5 races. Something, an incredible run we've not seen before or since. As now Kev Shearer makes a move down on the inside of Audrey Anzac. This is her 3rd. Is Shearer going to try and follow Ryan Griffin through? This is going to be an interesting battle, as Audrey seems to have the run off the high side, but no one's getting anything for Robert Weaver right now. 30 to go.
I think everybody's going to be want to follow Ryan Griffin right now. That truck is an absolute monster today. I mean, he has driven up from 13th place starting position and all the way up to 2nd place, and he is fighting for it. And man, oh man, it's incredible. We got 3 wide right here. That's the 34 on the bottom, going by both of them on the outside lane. Don't ask me about energy drinks, man. Oh man, what a move that was.
That's a poor move to get around both the Kings Motorsports trucks. That's Allison Rain in the 34. She's gained more spots in this race than even Ryan Griffin. She started in 16th, and she's up to 4th now in that ride. And now we look at this huge pack of trucks back here.
Incredible.
Coming back to the field, Aiden Smith in the 9, making his Truck Series debut. The new Ladion Autosport team, owned by superstar regular Cale Testar Jr. He's facing pressure from 8-1 of points leader Zachary Wilson, who, as it stands right now, would lose that points lead to Ryan Griffin, who's 29, still having a good run. Started 23rd, he's made his way up into the top 15, but man, Ryan Griffin is doing everything he can to try and get the lead of this race. It's only a matter of time, I think.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I mean, this is incredible right now. Look at how close they're racing with each other right here. They're just nearly touching less than a foot between those two trucks, and this is going to be something special. I mean, once the 29 gets by, I feel like it could be bad news for the rest of the field. We might see a bigger lead than anybody's had in this race before. Trying to go low on the straightaway, cut it off just a little bit. Not going to be enough to make a move into turn 1 here, but just setting it up for the backstretch. It's all about setting up that pass, you know, multiple corners ahead of time. So you want to get that run down a straightaway and then make the move in the next corner. And we'll see. Look, it's Audrey Anzac up to 3rd place, and really kind of pounding on the bumper there of the 29. And we've got a 4-truck battle, just like that, 4-truck battle for the lead here at Pikes Peak.
Interesting battle to keep our eye on, because now Zach Rogers has drifted all the way back to the 8th position, back behind Francois Chastain and Billy Kidd in the second 2. Oh, but here comes Audrey trying to make a move on the 29. This is going to be interesting to watch. Power through 3 and 4 once again, and it looks as though Griffin will be able to hold on to that spot, but I don't think it's just a matter of time. I think this 29. Actually, I'm not sure, because Robert Weaver's doing a stout job at defending from Ryan.
Incredible defense. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. He's just been holding that truck on the bottom lane and really not making any mistakes, and that's the biggest thing, you know. To get, if you make a mistake and let somebody pass you, that's kind of the main way that you're passing here today. And it's just, look at that. I mean, the 29 just has nothing at the end of the straightaway to be able to make a move going into turn 1. So that's pretty much as good as it's going to get right there. Good defense from the leader.
Here's the battle for 4th place, Allison Rain on Kev Shearer. But now it is Ryan Griffin trying to track down Robert Weaver with 22 laps to go at Pikes Peak. It's starting to get into the time of the race where you got to start thinking what position do you want to be in for the final run, because here it is, the final run of the race. The final quarter of the race now.
Here's a big move. Yeah, both of them move down low. And of course, that move of when we've seen it before in this race a couple times, where you've got the guy in 2nd place drops down middle of the straightaway looking to make a move, and then all of a sudden here comes 3rd place going even farther down, makes a move on 2nd place, and it causes it so nobody ends up changing positions after all. And that's only helping Robert Weaver. And here comes a move from the 29 again. No challenge from behind. Will there be room? No, it's of course not. Robert Weaver stays out front for now.
Coming through 3 and 4, you can see Francois Chastain has gotten around Kev Shearer now in their battle for 5th. And now this is the first time we've seen the 1 back in the top 5 since the early stages. See if he's got anything for these front 4. They have started to pull away a little bit. Here comes Ryan Griffin again for the move on Robert Weaver, but he's got to be careful, because now he's got a hard-charging Allison Rain back there. I think this 34 is just as good a race truck as that 29. They both had charges through the field, and honestly, this 34 could be making moves towards the end of this race. Oh, there's a dive.
Wow. Audrey Anzac, a crazy move into turn 1. And look, she's going to make it stick coming out of the corner. They're side by side still. Let's see what happens through 3 and 4. Looks like 29 got a good run, but the 8 still got a bumper on the quarter panel. Oh, get back in there. It's not going to work. So the 29 remains in 2nd place, and all the positions remain unchanged. But I think you're right about Allison Rain. I think just getting a lucky, if there's a mistake ahead, and you know, just kind of taking advantage of the jumble. If there's a jumble, you definitely want to be in the right spot, making moves and passing people whenever they kind of switch around and they're in different lanes of the track than they usually are. Everybody's slowing up a little bit, and whoa, maybe have a problem with the 83. I don't think so.
We do have caution on the racetrack, though, for the second time in this race. And it looks as though it's the 17, our pole sitter, Zach Rogers, running into a spot of trouble. He's now all the way back in the 30s after running in 8th, running in the top 10 all race long. He's suddenly in the 30s, so it has to be Zach Rogers in the 17 to bring out caution for the second time today. That's a tough break for that 17, who had such a strong day, led the opening 16 laps, and even if it wasn't going to be a winning day, it was going to be a top 10 day, and that's really what they needed. But unfortunately, that's all gone out the window now, because we've only about 15 laps to go. There's not much time to recover. Here is where Zach Rogers was running. He was running in about, just outside the top 5, battling with Billy Kidd, Jimmy Hogan right behind him. He's going to get into the 72, push him onto the apron, and he just lost it coming through the corner. That's a bit of a unique thing happening. But you can see he clearly lost a huge amount of track position as a result, and a little bit of rear end damage as well. That's going to hinder the 17's forward progress a little bit, but it just goes to show you you never know truly what to expect when you take on Pikes Peak, and sure enough, you can even see things you've never quite seen before, and that's proven to be quite the case here for Zach Rogers. Riding on board now with Zach Rogers is you see Billy Kidd make a move on Kev Shearer here, and then Rogers just sends it in a little too hard, pushes the 72, and I don't know what to make of that. He just lost it coming into that corner. So, not sure exactly how to explain that, but it's just a mistake anybody could really make, and as a result, Zach Rogers falls from the lead, or the lead group, I should say, all the way back to 35th.
Yeah, you have to question if there was any kind of mechanical failure or something along those lines, but man,
you'd think though if there was a mechanical failure, he'd be done for the day, or at least
That's true.
Not be able to continue in this race, but he is continuing on in the 30s. But we're gonna have another restart here, and that's gonna be something to keep our eye on, because we've got some new players up in the top 10. You got Jeremy Whalen up in 9th. That's a good run for the 83 group. Riley Hooper's up there. Jimmy Hogan in 8th. We haven't seen much of him today. And this also bunches the field back up, and that allows Allison Rain, for example, a chance to really strike in 4th position. This is going to be interesting. If the lights are out on the pace track, we will be going green next time by.
Yeah, and of course that 4th position was the position that made the move on the last restart to go too wide into turn 1, so that might just be where the energy comes from. You can back up just enough, get a good run going into the corner. So Allison Rain has a shot to really make a move into turn 1 and gain a spot there, maybe 2. We'll have to see what happens. I think the 29 is going to be pretty aggressive here. This is another chance to take that lead. Been trying so hard to take the lead. Got up to 2nd place all the way from 13th starting position, and now is just hit like a black and blue wall. Cannot get past Robert Weaver. So we'll see if those defensive abilities for Robert Weaver hold up on this restart. They're coming to the green flag.
Pace car is off, leaves us in the hands of Robert Weaver, Ryan Griffin, Audrey Anzac, Allison Rain, Francois Chastain running up the top 5. Knockout one away once again with 13 laps to go from Pikes Peak, and here comes Audrey Anzac from a move. Robert Weaver got a really good jump. That's bad news for Ryan Griffin, who's right now got Audrey Anzac and Allison Rain all over his back bumper.
Yeah, I wonder if it wasn't so much a good start from the 6, but a bad start from the 29, allowing those two trucks to really make a move there. But it looks like Allison Rain's going to try to make a move in the outside for 3rd place. It doesn't matter. The 29 is trying to make a move for the lead. Oh, still just no way to get below that 6 truck. Flawless today on the defense. It's been absolutely amazing to watch, and we've only got 12 laps to go in this thing. It's coming down to the close.
It is amazing how quickly Ryan Griffin was able to rebound from that poor restart. He immediately clawed back all the time he lost, and now we've got a new 3rd place runner, Allison Rain, in the 34. She started all the way back in 16th, so it proves that passing is possible here. and she's making the most of it. Only about only 4/10 off the lead. This could be a 3-truck battle for the win. If you notice Francois Chastain, he got around Audrey Anzac for 4th. See if the 1 can make some gains as we're coming to 10 to go at the line.
Yeah, and Robert Weaver is starting to gap the 29 just a little bit there. Looks like it's going to be, yeah, up to about a quarter of a second now. And, of course, the 29, as we started to talk about, is going to gain all of it back in one corner. Man, oh, man. It's been absolutely incredible. But, yeah, Allison Rain, I want to see what she can do in that second-place position and see if maybe Robert Weaver can be challenged by the 34. Man, oh, man, what a thing it would be if Allison Rain could come in and steal this one from everybody in the closing stages of this race.
With now 9 laps to go here at Pikes Peak International Raceway. We've got the whole field in contention, but really it's down to just 3. Robert Weaver, Ryan Griffin, Allison Rain, all battling it out for victory. Francois Chastain doing everything he can to make it back up there, but he's running out of time and he's running out of laps. As now Ryan Griffin tries to make another move on Robert Weaver for the lead position. Not going to make it work, but he's going to try and send it in anyway. That's going to be real close.
Man, oh man. I feel like Allison Rain might be holding back just a little bit right here, trying to wait and see if there's any kind of scuffle up front. And I don't know if that's the right move. I think you're going to want to start trying to work that second lane here. Try to get around the outside. Start racing with Ryan Griffin here. And even if you lose a little bit of time to Robert Weaver, you're going to be able to make it back up. We've seen that multiple times in this race already, that when you lose time to the 6, you're able to make it back up till you get right to his bumper. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. The 29's making a move. I don't think he's not even going to make the move. It's not close enough. Where is he?
No, he's not that close. But he was going to give it a try, and that's what matters to the Finn Guy Saitomi Motorsports Group. They're trying so hard to get their 3rd win in only 5 races. It would be incredible if it were to happen. But even if it doesn't, he'll likely walk out of this race with the points lead, which is by itself, at the end of the regular season, worth a race victory. So it's going to be important to keep that. As now Allison Rain swings low, going to try to send it in the 3. Not going to be enough. But we are coming to 5 laps to go, and it's still anybody's guess of who among the front group could get the victory here at Pikes Peak.
Yeah, I think any of these 4 really have a chance. I mean, if one of these big, huge dives into the corner doesn't work out, they could all get taken out. One of them, a little bit of a pool shot, takes all 3 of them out here in this race. And then Francois Chastain would be in the catbird seat. So we'll see what happens here. I think that this race is definitely not over yet, despite the fact that Ryan Griffin that Robert Weaver has been doing such a good job on defense. Here comes Allison Rain on the bottom, going into turn 1, trying to pass Ryan Griffin in the 29. Huge run through the middle. Looks like it's going to work.
4 laps of racing to go from Pikes Peak. 3.5 now. And man, is Allison Rain giving it everything. Trying to get her first career win in any of the one-up racing series. Remember, she had a really rough season in the Superstar Series a year ago. Didn't make too many races, but showed a lot of potential when she did. And now, down in the trucks, putting on a sterling job. Trying to get around Ryan Griffin. Now 3 laps to go. Griffin's going to try and make the move around the high side, and I think he's just going to be able to hold on to 34, but only just.
Man, still side by side. This is definitely slowing him down. Allison Rain really dove in there, spooked the 29 and got a little bit loose, but I think the 29 is going to be able to get a good run off the corner with a little push from the 1 of Francois Chastain up there. And man, oh man, this has really separated this whole group from Robert Weaver. This is exactly what he wants to see. They're still side by side. Here comes Audrey Anzac trying to get some spots here at the end of this race. Man, oh man, what a battle we've got for second place. And Robert Weaver is just driving away with it.
Coming to the white flag this time. Robert Weaver trying to make a little history of his own in the one-up series. White flag in the air one more time around from Pikes Peak International Raceway. Robert Weaver's only got about a 3/4 of a mile left to hang on to from Ryan Griffin's onslaught that's been going on for so long. Going to give it one more shot into turn 3 on the final lap. It doesn't look like it's going to work to anything though. Coming through 3 and 4 for the final time. Robert Weaver going to make some history of his own, holding off a strong Ryan Griffin, and Robert Weaver is going to win the dish number 250 at Pikes Peak with an insanely good defense of the hard-charging Ryan Griffin and Allison Rain to take his first career win in the 1UP Turbo Truck Series. Ryan Griffin did everything he could from 13th to 2nd. What a job he did. Allison Rain as well from 16th to 3rd. Francois Chastain comes home 4th. Allison Rain rounds out the top 5. Kev Shearer on his first series start comes home in 6th. A very good run from the rookie. Billy Kidd 7th. Jeremy Whalen up to 8th. Riley Hooper finally, after the disappointment and the struggles he's had this season, comes home 9th for his first top 10 of the season. And Fisher Miller rounds out the top 10 in a race that saw only one lead change, but man, even with only one lead change, the racing action was very interesting throughout this race, and I, for one, was very satisfied with that race, even if we didn't see a bit late race pass for the lead.
Yeah, it really didn't feel like a race with only one lead change. I mean, man, oh man, that was intense all the way, start to finish, flag to flag in this one. Man, oh man, that 17 looked so strong in the beginning of the race, lost the lead, started having some struggles, and it left this race in the hands of Robert Weaver and some incredible defensive maneuvers during this race. You don't often see these races won by really good defense, but man, oh man, today it absolutely was an awesome showing from all these drivers to put on a fantastic show, and yeah, that's just simply put, a great race, and congratulations to Robert Weaver for winning this thing.
So from Duke Anzac and for myself as well, we say goodbye from Pikes Peak International Raceway, where Robert Weaver, like we said, put up with the greatest defense I think we've seen in quite a long time. He takes home the victory at Pikes Peak. We'll see you wherever the Turbo Truck Series takes us next, but we can guarantee you, no matter what circuit this series takes on, it'll provide some heart-pounding action from start to finish, just as it did here today in the beautiful Pikes Peak International Raceway.